Arturia recently released V Collection 8 and also Analog Lab version 5, and with those updates we get a new analog modeling engine with the Stage 73. So the Arturia Stage 73 V plugin actually emulates the Rhodes and electric pianos. The only difference that you'll notice off the bat on the UI are the macro knobs here at the bottom, which I've mentioned in the previous tutorials that I did for V Collection and Analog Lab 5. The brightness is just the cutoff filter, timbre is the resonance, timing is your amp envelope, and movement controls the modulation. So with this very first preset on the Clean Mark V, I can make this brighter, darker. I change the resonance, the timing, the modulation, which this doesn't have any modulation attached to it right now, so you're not hearing anything. The other big difference, you could see that you could just select stage or suitcase or go right into your advanced or effects here. Here you had to click a drop-down menu. Same deal with here. When you go into the effects, you'll notice that the UI is based off of the actual pedals that they use to affect the plugin. I really hated that because they're really small. I would have to increase this plugin by quite a bit in terms of the size to where the plugin will be too big just to read or clearly read what all these knobs say. Here in the new version, if you click on effects, everything's much bigger, easier to see, and I don't have to change the size of the plugin. This is actually where all the secret sauce is in terms of getting the best sound out of the Stage 73. That and the advanced section where you could change the model that you're working with. But let me actually do a sound comparison between these two so that you actually hear the upgrade of the engine. So here on the Stage 73 version 1, I'm just going to play some of the presets and they're going to sound good to you right off the bat. But once I start playing the new version, you'll hear that these were actually kind of thin. That sounds pretty warm. I love it. Next preset, smooth jazz. Let's go to my favorite preset, blue session. Alright, so now let's check out the Stage 73 version 2. And here's the very first preset, Clean Mark V. Just instantly punches, and you could hear that that would definitely cut through the mix no problem. There's just something about the presence that they've been able to add in with the new modeling algorithm. Let's go to the very next preset. There's just so much more detail and depth in the sound. Just to recompare that, let's go back to my favorite preset, the blue session, and you could hear that all that's missing somehow. And you might be thinking, well, it's just louder. That's all it is. Well, let's go ahead and turn this up. Let's crank it all the way up. Now it just sounds too dynamic. There's certain sounds that are standing out that shouldn't be standing out, and you still hear that certain sounds are just too low in volume. Let's go to a different preset, one that doesn't have as much reverb on it. So this has no reverb. Yeah, gritty, distorted, really heavy. Let's put that back at normal volume. We weren't clipping, but let's go ahead and listen to what it sounds like with normal volume. And go right back to the Stage 73 version 2. Let's just go to the very next preset. Definitely shout out to the people that made these presets originally too, because they're definitely taking advantage of the new modeling algorithm for sure. Every single one of these presets sound great. But let me give you a quick tip in terms of really manipulating this and making it your own. So if you go into advanced, what I like to do is pick out a preset that you like and then change the modeling a little bit. So right now we're on classic B. You actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different models to choose from. So without changing anything else, let's just change up the models and see what we come up with. So again, here's classic B. Switch to classic A. I just noticed that the output is on mono as well. Let's go ahead and switch that to stereo. There's also a room version. Beautiful. And let's check out high tine. These should sound more like bells. Main. Mark 5A. Got a little carried away there. Let's go to version B. Switch over to modern. So yeah, that's a way to quickly dial in the actual sound that you're looking for in terms of stage pianos or suitcase pianos or Rhodes in general. Then after that, you could go into your effects settings and you have a chorus flanger, compressor, analog phaser, delay, distortion, EQ, reverb, stereo panning, analog delay, a limiter, tape echo, a cry wah, which is super signature with Rhodes pianos. And then you have this amp section and you have a twin amp and a rotary speaker, and these are definitely going to change up your sound quite a bit. So if we go back to none, which I think it was already on none. Yep, and switch to twin amp. dramatically different sound without even changing any of these settings, and you get an extra reverb, more EQ, and a tremolo effect inside of this amp. And then my favorite, this rotary speaker. And then you have room, which represents back in the advanced settings. If you switch this output to room, this will go back into this effect where you have this room setting here, and you could change and adjust this room however you like. This plate is based off of a plate reverb that they actually passed out for free last Christmas. I believe they charge quite a bit for it. But if you get the Arturia Effects Collection, I believe that comes with it. And that's quite a good deal if you're looking for some vintage effects for sure, which I'm definitely going to cover here in the future. You have this abandoned warehouse, acoustic concert hall, wooden room, very warm sounding, modern hardware, so a digital reverb, home studio, small piano room, large plate, which is a bigger version of what we started with, and a spring reverb. But really, the fact that they've upgraded their modeling algorithm and they're able to achieve a bass sound with this Stage 73 that just sounds good right off the bat, you don't need a whole bunch of manipulation to the effects or the advanced settings to get a sound that probably will work for your track. But it's definitely awesome having all this stuff to experiment with and to create and to go heavier into the sound design. That way you can create a little more experimental type sounds. Which reminds me, that's something that I'm going to be doing heavily on the In-Flight Music Live channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a link in the description below. I'm going to go really heavy on that channel here soon, so subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, definitely do that as well. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.